Kia ora, Legionnaires, Rycon here, and welcome to a brand new series taking us into the world of Mount & Blade 2, Bannerlord. Bannerlord is a medieval combat simulation game, and if you've seen The Tale of Rewin Celtica, you would have experienced Warband, the predecessor to Bannerlord. Myself and many in the community have been highly awaiting the release, and finally we have our first taste. The game is in early access, and for that reason we will more than likely encounter a little bit of jankiness and bugs along the way. But in front of us we have a relatively feature-complete game. For those of you who are familiar with other series on my channel, you will know that I like to tell more cinematic stories. Unfortunately, we are a little limited at this stage with Bannerlord, as we don't have access to the same controls we had in the previous title, and so this series will be lighter on the roleplay. But nevertheless, we still have a character to play, and that character is William Thatcher, now known as William Ector. William spent his early years as a farmhand, but longed for oh so much more: the coin, the recognition that came from tournament fighting. But not just anyone can enter a tournament. And so young William sought to fabricate a house of his own, a house, a clan that he would represent in the arena. And here is where our journey begins, with William all by his lonesome, having finished a recent bout of training. William is in the southern empire of Calradia, a large and diverse land, once ruled by a much larger empire that has split up into numerous factions that are now all vying to reunite the land. William originally hails from Sargot in the west, but has travelled far to the south to enter the various tournaments throughout the burgeoning empires. We have 1,000 dinars to our name, and that is it at this stage. With very minimal equipment, we need to try and spend every last bit of that coin, getting William as prepared as possible for these tournaments. And so with that, our first step will be approaching one of the nearest cities, the first being Qolys. Hoping, in fact, that there will be a tournament taking place. We won't know for sure until we arrive. Unfortunately for William, there is no tournament here, but we can inquire with the tournament master within. We can see a number of practice fights taking place below, and quite the arena, exactly where William wants to be. That's what he came here for, and so let us inquire, are there any tournaments nearby? And so it would seem that Bostrim and Sanopia have tournaments. Sanopia to the north and Bostrim much closer to the south. But before we leave Qolys, we are going to inquire about picking up some equipment. At this stage, our weapons are not so valuable to us. We won't be able to take those into the arena with us, but what we will be able to take is armor. And with what little coin we have, we're at least going to be able to get a little bit of protection. Let us hope that that's going to be enough, but before we ride out, we will need a little bit of extra food as well. At this stage, we can't afford to be picky, and fish seems to be the cheapest at this stage. And so, we'll spend that cash and look at riding on all the way to the east, to Bostrim, making sure that we don't encounter any foes along the way. There are bandits and looters that are patrolling these lands. William will do well to stay away from them, but thankfully on horseback we are going to be just that little bit faster than they are. As we approach Bostrim, the sun is beginning to rise, and we'll be able to see whether or not this tournament is still taking place. It looks like a beautiful arena by the sea. We can only hope that we'll fare well in the battle to come. And sure enough, a tournament is here, and the prize is a decent horse nonetheless, a horse that we might be able to ride, but more importantly, will get us funds, which we are going to so desperately need. We have one last decision to make. We have the chance to buy some gloves, some braces that will protect our arms before we go in. But that will mean that we have less money. If we're betting on ourselves in the tournament, we might not have much left over. But to increase our chance, for now, we will purchase said braces and sell that old tunic of ours. With 326 dinars left to our name, we are joining the tournament, and as you can see, we have a number of different teams stacked up against us. Our team isn't looking all that bad. There's a decent chance that we'll be able to make it through, at least to the second round. And so with that, we're going to wager everything we can. It's all or nothing for William at this stage. We have to hope for the very best as the battle begins. And thankfully, we are on horseback to begin this thing. And as you can see, well, there's going to be a few little kinks along the way, as we would have and expect in Alpha. We've already got one kill to our name. And not so much a kill. These weapons are blunted, of course, as you would expect from a tournament. But with 687 damage, we are doing relatively well. On horseback, we can couch our lance here, which allows us to do a large amount of damage when we hit. William does have experience in riding, and so far that's working out for him. Let's see if we can't take down our friend and nearly kill one of our own. It looks like the red team is faring relatively well, and sure enough, the last of our enemies fall. Looks like we might be up against an enemy lord at some point here. We have Oberon of Bostrim. Someone for us to keep our eyes on, I think. At this stage, we are down to one-on-one fights. In our fight, we're going to be coming up against the Imperial Sergeant Crossbowman. We have a little bit of gold left to our name. And you know what? At this stage, it is all or nothing for us. William, we wish you all the best. Oh, here we go. As you can see, our enemy has relatively decent armor compared to our own. So we have to be very careful about taking strikes from this one. But as long as we are timely with our own strikes, we should be able to come out on top. He may not have a lot of money to his name, but he does have at least a bit of skill from the hours spent practicing in the arena. William stands a chance. And just like that, another foe is defeated, and William lives for now to fight in yet another round. Will Oberon prevail? Yes, seemingly so. We have a lot stacked against us. As we come up now against an Imperial Crossbowman, seemingly an easier foe than we just fought, so one would think we should be able to win this without as much trouble. A few nasty strikes delivered so far. A near flawless fight. Oh. And we spoke too soon. But we win all the same. Covered in blood. And now, the final round. Oberon versus young William. A farmer, dressed up as a would-be knight. Oberon, let's see what you got. And we are victorious. Oberon falls. William is victorious, winning his first tournament, winning 537 dinars back, and a very nice horse. which we might be able to sell to someone here in the city. We can breathe easy now. We have a win under our belt, and with that, we're going to be able to purchase better armor for our man William, further increasing his chance to win in the tournaments to come. Let's see how much that horse is going to be worth. 553. We need to have a riding of 90 to be able to use this thing. We're not going to be able to use that for a while, and so with that, we will gladly take those dinars. We're back up above 1,000, a good position for us to be in. And you might have noticed that in that combat we did level up, getting to level 2. We have 2 free focus points that we can put in a skill of our choice. At this stage, increasing our one-handed skill as soon as possible is definitely preferable, but we can have a look around the rest here and try and decide exactly where we want to put these focus points. The points themselves increase the rate at which you learn the skills and will push your learning limit further back, allowing us to pick up more of these different perks along the way. Right now we actually have a perk we can pick in one-handed polearms and in charm. So let's see, first of all, what is going to be our best choice here. We can increase our HP, or we can deal additional damage. At this stage, getting that better damage, I think, is what we're going to be after. More often than not, we're able to stay behind our shield. We would hope that is going to be the case. We can also see up the top here that William is merciful, honest, and generous. He may be honest, but he's certainly lying about who exactly he is right now. But the crowds don't seem to care all that much, and well, that's good enough for us. Over here, we can increase our HP with polearms, and so we'll gladly do that. And then finally, charm. We have icebreaker or diplomacy. We can get a better, reduced barter penalty or icebreaker, which allows us to get a bit of a bonus when interacting with lords. Well, more than likely, we're going to be interacting with lords on the battlefield in the arena, so we won't be meeting them face to face yet. At this stage, diplomacy down here might be a better option for us to get a better, well, outcome from bartering. So for now, we're going to increase our charm there. We've got 2 free focus points to place, and I'm very tempted to place those both into one-handed and polearm, and I think that's exactly what we're going to do, because those are going to be skills that more often than not we're going to be able to use in these tournaments. Checking back into the arena, in which we just fought, let's see if any other tournaments are going on nearby. A little bit further, but Snarla and Husn Fulq have tournaments happening respectively in each. A bit of a ride and dangerous while we're alone, but we should be able to make that. But before we leave, there's a chance we can increase our armor just a little bit more, and in a very important place, our face. We'll go ahead and sell this cloth coif, and we'll stick with this new one that's made from mail and increases our armor on our head up to 14. So at this stage, our head is looking pretty good overall. And so as you can see, the 2 locations in which the tournaments are happening at are kind of equally split from each other. It will be a little bit easier for us to make it up here to Husn Fulq first, and so that's a location that we'll be gunning for, running along the coast of the Southern Empire. Let's hope that we can keep ourselves away from any of the looters or bandits that patrol these forest and mountain hills. A little bit of careful riding gets us around a party that was waiting to ambush a wary traveller. Thankfully, William is a little bit smarter than that. Having arrived in town, we have a chance to improve our armor further with a desert fabric shoulder pad, which is going to be better than our western hood, so swapping one out for the other and selling the first is going to cost us 212 dinars, but at this stage, it is going to just further increase the chance that we're going to win in the coming fight. Some of you may be unaware, but we can actually walk around each of the settlements that we visit, and these cities are, well, needless to say, rather impressive. A lot more verticality, style, and space than Warband. I am really impressed with how good the cities look, and I can only imagine how epic the sieges and battles with a city of this size would be. Now, a nice new feature in Bannerlord is the ability to hold down Alt and see various different
areas throughout the city and people that we can talk to. We have a tavern over here, and I believe the sun is just starting to set, but if we make it to the arena now, we might still be able to take part in the tournament today. We can only hope. Let us enter. And Tournament Master,
sign us up. We are ready.
And the prize is once again a horse. Not a bad horse, and I can only hope that it will sell for as much as the first did. We can see that there are 2 unique characters who are here. Addis, I believe, is a lord, and Addis did make it through. The rounds are slightly different to how they were before. It is effectively 4 teams with 1 individual on each. William will be fighting by himself. As we enter, we're going to place down as much as we possibly can and hope for the very best. And we start off with good weapons, and it looks like it is, for the most part, going to be a one-on-one to begin with. We have long, sharp, slashing swords. And this cavalry doesn't seem to be as heavily armored as some of the foes that we've fought so far, and so we can make pretty quick work of them as we approach the last standing man on the field. Let's get ready. Oh, and just like that, another level and another round 1. William stands, and that was a flawless fight for us, not a single bit of damage. Now we have 2 teams of 4. We have Addis on our side, and with that, I feel confident enough to bet nearly all of our remaining funds. Actually, all of our remaining funds. Let's go. On horseback. Now, unfortunately, the spear that we have here, I don't believe will be able to couch. Even so, it can still do a decent amount of damage, while allowing us to keep a shield at the ready. We do have 2 enemy cavalrymen, so we'll have to be cautious as we approach, but 96 damage. They're barely standing still. Just a little bit more. Come on, William. Chase him down. There we go. It's another down, and only 2 red soldiers left on the field. Let's help our archer. Looks like he didn't need it. After you, then. Here we go. Not bad damage, but we're going to need another one. Parry. Alright then. Here we go. A missed stab. Oh, we just missed, but our archer did exactly what we needed them to do. Second to last round. I'm sure Addis will make it through this one. And sure enough, it looks like we're going to be facing another lord at the end here. But first we have to take down this veteran infantry. It is 1-on-1. And I really do like that we actually have cloth and chain physics now. I know it might sound like I get excited over pretty mundane things, but it is still a rather large improvement from Warband, which now is over 10 years old. Now, we can't keep this up forever. You can see that our shield is slowly starting to weaken, as will our enemy's shield.
Come on!
We really need to hope that we can get a killing strike just before our shield breaks. William, well done. We're in that final now. Addis, I hope you're ready, because we most certainly are. Our shield has been, well, fixed, and you are one speedy boy. Ready ourselves, and a good opening strike. I suppose you weren't expecting the ferocity of William today, but Addis, you should have been. Hold, William. There we go. Another victory, another tournament. William, you're gonna start getting an aim for yourself, my boy. Just like that, 891 from our betting and a nice horse. which we should be able to make a little bit of profit. Another horse that we can't use, unfortunately, isn't going to sell for as much, but still will put us back up over 1,000. Looking at the rest of the armor here, there isn't anything within our budget that is going to help us out. But with that, we'll pick up a little bit of grain to eat along the road, and we'll have a word with the tournament master to see where the next competition will be taking place. And so we have 2 tournaments, Akalat and Chaikand. Let's see how far we're going to have to travel now. 2 cities in close proximity to each other in the far eastern province. It looks like Akalat is going to be a little bit easier for us to get to, and so that's where we're going to set our sights, avoiding bandits as we can along the way. Be swift, William. Be safe. We're in some nice wide open plains here, so luckily, more often than not, we're going to be able to see enemies before they get too close to us. We do have Odok here, which will be worth us stopping into before we reach Akalat. Reason being, we don't know what armor and weapons will be available at Akalat, and there's a strong chance that we might be able to find something good that could improve our chances here. And sure enough, there is some very good equipment. Most of it is going to be outside of our price range. But even here, these bolted leather strips will be better than the cape that we're currently wearing. And it is within our budget, still allowing us to bet some of our gold, but at the same time, just making us all the more stronger. There is some really nice armor down here that I wouldn't mind getting, but at this stage we are just going to go for the leather strips. Difficult decision as it is, better than spending all of our gold on just one set. And so, it's a little bit clippy, but it will give us better protection overall. And so we'll continue our ride on to Akalat, hopefully reaching there in the morning with William having a chance to have a little bit of a rest before he jumps into the arena once again. And here we are, William. We have arrived in Akalat. You might notice that William's looking slightly different. You do have a civilian outfit for when you just enter cities like this so that you're not fully armed and armored and looking incredibly threatening. But Akalat's looking like a really interesting city. We can definitely see the different styles that each of the different cultures and provinces have. Akalat is reasonably spread out with these big open streets, which would actually allow for a decent amount of cavalry to push through here if there were an assault. Let's see if we can track down that arena. We have a dungeon over here. Over towards the side. Let's make our way on over. And here is the entrance tucked around the back of the city. Let's see what prize they have in store today. Well, quite an interesting arena. A lot more basic than some that we've seen so far, but I really like it all the same. Sign me up, good sir. All right, and surprise, surprise, another tournament prize is this fantastic horse here. Now, horses aren't the only prize that you can get in tournaments. It's just been a rare circumstance in which each tournament we've been to so far has been offering horses. Well, what can we say? We have teams of four teams of 4, and it looks like we've got some interesting folk here. We do have Mehir, who must be the local lord, and Gorgi Bloodaxe, which is quite the name, and more than likely is a companion that we would be able to hire. A very tempting hire at that. But we're going to go ahead and spend 300 this round, betting that we're going to be able to make it through. Let's hope that we're right. I think we have another lance-style weapon. Actually, no, I am incorrect. But all the same, we're going to do our best to make it through here as the madness begins. One hunter down. We have an archer with their eyes on us. It seems like nearly all the combatants began this round on horses, if not all, which is creating a lot of chaos. But the red team does still seem to be standing, and faring slightly better than the others. another down. Keep it up, William, keep it up.
Come on!
We have 2 red teammates left and 3 yellow on the field, all dismounted. Oh, and it's going to be very difficult to take them on now with those spears at the ready. We might have to wait and see if our archers still might be able to do something. That's another down. Another one getting back onto horseback. That's not actually the worst thing for us, as someone with a spear on the ground can actually be more deadly to someone on a horse, as your speed can be just as deadly to yourself if there's a spike waiting for you to place yourself onto it. There we go, another down. William, you're doing a fine job, my friend, carrying the red team here. As he attempts to mount another, let's try and finish this. A good stab. Can't be taking much more. There we go. William, you bloody beautiful man. Well done. And so we find ourselves in the second round, betting all that we can. We are going to be up against Mahir, and I think we were there as well. Let us hope for the best and continue. Alright, we are an archer this time, and well, William doesn't have a huge amount of experience with a bow, but enough perhaps to take down some foes. We'll stay as still as we can, hoping to have the enemy ignore us where possible. We will change to first person for this to make it a little bit easier, one would hope. Only our teammate is struggling over there by themselves. We're gonna have to get closer to assist. So far, we're being left alone. And for that, I am very grateful. Okay, easy does it. We've got 10 arrows left. We're going to make the most of them if we can. Come on. We're going to have to get closer. Not bad. Keep our distance. Keep firing at our foe. Looks like he's going to try and get onto horseback. We'll wait. There we go. That's how we do it, William. That's how we do it. We may not be the best archer in the world, but we can always get just that bit closer and take those nice headshots where possible. Easy there, bud. Come on, William. No, don't hit your own friend in the face. Oh, come on, one more shot. Okay, well, we still have a blade. It's into the gritty, dangerous fighting now. Come on, get in there, William. Oh, with 2 damage, we finally did enough to take down that bastard. And Mahir doesn't actually make it through, and we're into the one-on-one fights, and we still have just a little bit left to bet. Looks like if we can win this, we're gonna have a pretty damn decent profit. Alright, Raider, let's see what you got. Oh no, okay, it's just shield and spears here. This is gonna be a messy fight. There won't be grace in this one, I can tell you that much. Oh, okay. It's alright, we've got a little bit more head protection than I think you do, so we'll try, where possible, to strike him in the head. Although, we have our own weakness in that our coif doesn't really protect our face. Oh, a good strike. Try and get a bit of distance there. Come on then. There we go. Raider down. We are in the final. But who are we up against? Let's see who makes it through. The spear infantry makes sense considering we are using spears, and oh no, it's just on horseback now. This is, well, it can go one of 2 ways, and it can end very quickly. All it takes is for one of us to get a good stab in. William, do your best, my friend. Oh, and we get the strike. Oh, my heart was racing for that one. On horseback with spears is always dangerous, but William, my friend, you've done it yet again. We have ourselves a horse and we've got some good earnings from this one. We can slowly see that our wealth is starting to grow. As we go from tournament to tournament, our fame will grow with it. Another horse that we cannot ride yet, but one that is still worth at least a decent amount, taking us up to 1400. We might be able to have a look at picking up some new armor for our friend. All of it is still just that little bit too expensive. If we are to bet the funds that we have now, we might be able to afford that in the future. We always want to make sure that we have some funds to bet with, otherwise we can have a very hard time climbing back up that ladder. At this stage, our armor seems to be doing us pretty well, but there are some deadly combatants out there that will be able to stand their ground against us, no doubt. Now, there was another tournament taking place in Charkand. We can hope that we're going to be able to make it there today so that we might stand a chance at taking place in it, or at the very least, if it is still going, tomorrow. And it looks like we're going to be getting in late, but not too late. And before we enter the city, I should note that we did level up. We are now level 4, so we have 1 attribute point and we have 2 free focus points to spread out amongst all of our skills here. Now, the attribute point does help us in each of these different categories, so deciding which to put it in isn't exactly easy. We have 6 in social, so William is pretty good at charming people, and I think it's been how he's been able to convince the folk so far that the clan of Ector is a legitimate clan. And well, so far so good. It's been getting him into those tournaments, but I think I might want to try and level them out if we can, taking our vigor up to 5 for now. In the future we might look at applying that somewhere else, but improving our one-handed skill, which is going to be kind of our bread and butter, is going to be our focus for now. And that does mean placing focus here and placing focus here. And I believe for the moment that that is the right choice. And here we are at Charkand, and we can see some of the guards just waiting up the top here and the stars just starting to peek out. So we'll try and move our way through the city as fast as possible, but also just try and get a good look at it to see how the different cities and regions differ. And I gotta say, I like Charkand as well. All right, the arena is over here to the left, and we can see that we do have a few characters that have been around that we can have a chat to pick up work. It'll be something that we do eventually, but right now for William, his focus is fully on those tournaments. And well, we have some fighting to do. And the prize, as we can see, this time is not a horse, a one-handed weapon, Penarch, which we might actually be able to use ourselves. We can see that the first round consists of many one-on-one fights. We do have someone here, Porov the Lucky, who I believe is another companion that we'd be able to recruit at some point. For now, William is enjoying being that lone rider, and we're up against a heavy horse archer in the first round. So we really need to try and bring our A-game for this one, William. And it looks like it's going to just be a brutal slugfest. So, well, let's get ready, my friend. The first strike goes to us. We'll see if we can keep it up as we try to penetrate that armor, waiting for a gap. Anything. There we go, in the stomach. We might be able to do a little bit of extra damage to your feet, as leg armor isn't always prioritized in Bannerlord. Thankfully, a glancing blow against us. Come on, William. Just keep that shield up for now. There we go, a good strike. Trying to strike beneath that shield. And our shield is starting to weaken. There we go, a good stab at the leg. A weak spot, perhaps. any moment now. Our shield is going to break, and sure enough, ours breaks before his does. So it's going to have to be an all-out assault at this stage, trying to stay back. And William, you bloody beautiful bastard, does it yet again. Skipping through the other rounds, we find ourselves in the second round, where we have 2 teams of 4. I imagine it's going to be chaos on horseback yet again, so let's hold our breath. And not all on horseback, but we do have a spear in hand, so we'll try to make the most of that. And make the most of our friend in front of us. Using them as a barricade where we can. There we go, and another level for William. We're leveling up fast, taking on these troops that are, well above our station. And thankfully, we can let our archer, who's just to the right of us, try and do most of the damage to this one here. And I'm more than happy to allow him to do that. And you know what? Let's see. Let's pick up your weapon. We'll keep our spear on our back for now, to deal with you, actually. Okay, blue team's doing well. Good damage to the horse, but we missed him. Okay, let's see if we can chase him down if we can. Yes, there we go, my friend. William, you're doing a fine job. Okay, we have a lancer on our side. I'm feeling pretty good about that. Let's hold our breath yet again. It's 2 of us, both on foot, and it looks like we have 2 archers, so I hope that our lancer is going to be a better archer than the one on the other side. Alright, okay, a double team here, it's going good. Nice, good job, friend, good job. Come on, there we go. Thank you, you're not bad with that bow, but it does mean that we are going to be up against this lancer in the next round. We have a chance to earn a decent amount of coin here. We've got a lot at stake. And oh no, we're on horseback against a bloody lancer. But we got the first strike! William! Well, there you go. When you're on horseback, you just need to commit, and 1700. Wow. And a weapon at that. Now, this is something we can hold on to, but we will question whether or not we are actually going to do that, because at this stage we aren't fighting too often outside of combat. We can see that we already have our own mace here, this Fulq Western mace, which for some reason is displaying a hatchet, but we can see that Penarch is it does the same damage, it has better handling, it's not as long, and it does have pretty good swing speed, so I feel like having something like that is going to be worth it. So we do have a nice tournament mace on our hip now, and we have 1900 in the bank. A little bit more. We're actually going to get over 2000 at this stage. That does mean that we can consider picking up some new armor. These pauldrons aren't half bad and will give us a decent amount of body armor and arm armor at that. Sometimes the pauldrons can be better than actually buying armor. So if we went for something that was around 1000 for us, we can see that it'll increase our leg armor by a decent amount, our arm armor too. So this Eastern reinforcement armor isn't actually all that bad for us to pick up. Yeah, they're both effectively the same. The suede armor does seem to look a little bit nicer, and in my book, I feel like that's that's definitely worth something. But then again, looking at the Eastern mirrored leather armor, we're only noticing a drop off of 1 on the leg armor, and it's about $200 cheaper, or 200 dinars cheaper rather. So I feel like for now, we're going to go ahead and pick this up just to get that little bit of an increase, selling our gambeson to make some of that coin back, and I think we'll actually be able to pick up some of these pauldrons at the same time, and that's going to give us a big increase. It is a decent amount of our funds that are going towards that, but I feel like that's going to give us a much better chance to stand up in tournaments in the future. After speaking to the tournament master, we've learned that there are going to be 2 tournaments happening nearby, one in Saronia and one in Auckland. Auckland is a lot closer, well, geographically, but we do have this big mountain range that is in the way, and I believe it will actually be faster for us to make it across here to Saronia, so I think that's the direction in which we are going to be traveling. It is back within the Empire, and well, close. We have step bandits on our tail, but I believe at this stage we are going to be able to outrun them. We have a speed of 6.3, they have a speed of 5.9. As long as we stay our path, William should be safe. And after a fair bit of careful navigation, we have made it here, unfortunately at night, so we can only hope that the tournament will still be taking place in the morn. Looking at what they have on offer here, these lordly padded mittens are definitely to my liking, however, just a little bit outside of our price range at this time. If we win the tournament, we'll definitely be picking them up because that extra bit of armor there is much to my liking.
After camping outside for the evening, morning is finally upon us, so let's head on inside.
And we have a really, really nice, picturesque looking settlement here. We're matching in our camouflage green to the grass around here. We've got a horse trader outside, and well, yeah, I'm surprised that we start so far back outside, but I guess it's because there is still so much to see out here. But sieging a castle like this is something that I really look forward to experiencing later in the game with William, because, well, tournaments can only take you so far, and disturbingly blood-red rivers are, well, I guess, disturbing. Interesting. We'll try to ignore that for now and head on inside, see if we can't track down this arena. Looks like the arena is going to be on the far side of the town, past the tavern. It does give us a chance to walk through the markets and get a bit of a feel for what the city is like, and I just love the atmosphere of this, and I can't wait to have control of the camera in this, because I feel like there's a lot of cinematic potential for Bannerlord. Just over here is where the arena awaits us, and it actually looks like we're going to have to go a different direction to make it there. Oh no, perhaps not. We do have a lot of different little back alleyways, and yeah, I'm really, really liking this. Can we make it all the way through? Indeed we can, and here the arena beckons, and so we shall answer that call. And we have a traditional arena of the Empire. Yeah. Let's get ourselves ready. We are here to fight. Oh, our prize this time is a one-handed sword named Wind's Fury. I really, really want to win this. We can see that we do have a few, maybe two, it looks like, Davin Breakskull and Charas. Let's see how they fare in the first round here. Charas has made it through. We're up against three others in this, a Cataphract, a Crossbowman, and Davin Breakskull. Let's go ahead and place our wager as much as we can and hope for the very best. Alright, here we go. Looks like we're up against old Breakskull first, and, well, unfortunately, good sir, you're not wearing all that much armor, are you? And I feel like that's going to be the end of you. Sure enough it is. Oh, and here's the Cataphract, incredibly well armored. This isn't going to be an easy fight. I hope you've taken a few hits already. But you have a very quick swing that I am rather afraid of, I'll be honest. With some nicely timed strikes, we should be able to get some damage in here. Starting to weaken, which means I hope theirs is too. Our shield is gone. Come on, stand strong, my friend, stand strong. Good parry. Come on, come on. We've fallen. Yet, we've still qualified. But that Cataphract, There's nothing to scoff at. We've made it through, thankfully, because we did take out some of the others. But that is going to be a very, very tough round for us. We are still going to be putting everything on the line. As well, at this stage, it's still all or nothing. We can only hope for the best. Hope that those two square off against each other. And so far, that actually seems to be the case. Brilliant. Trade blows. I want to try and get to the other fight while it's still going, if possible. Ooh, we take a decent hit there. We need to be careful. Can't be too risky, which we're already being. The cataphract is still fighting. Who should we be trying to take out? It looks like the cataphract is the one that we need to go for here. The one that's able to withstand a decent amount of damage. Huh, maybe I was wrong. We might have done enough to make it through to yet another round. Even so, we want to try and bring our very best to entertain the people. So at this stage, we're not undefeated, but we are still standing. And that cataphract, thankfully, is out of it. I would much rather fight Secrinus, even though he does seem to have a lot of skill. His armor doesn't seem to be as good, and for that, I am happy. We got an Equite on our side, better than the heavy horseman, I believe. Actually, looks like I could be incredibly wrong with that statement. Let's hope for the best. There's two of us against the other two. You're a little short, my friend, but that does not mean that you can't do a whole heap of damage against us, so let's start this off strong. And that we have. William wanting revenge. Wanting to prove that he is qualified to be here. We need to keep an eye on the other fight. If our teammate falls, we need to change our strategy. There we go. Excellent. Let's help out where we can. Equite still stands. Excellent job. Looks like we're going to be facing off against you. We can wish you all the best. Wind's fury is nearly within our grasp. Let us hope. As we charge on the sands, let's get this thing started. We are still standing after all of that. A tough tournament, one in which we are still the victor, with decent amount of earnings coming through from our bets and Wind's fury. Let's see exactly what this sword is like. Not bad, with a swing damage of 76, a thrust speed of 90, swing speed of 87. I think we're looking at a pretty good weapon here altogether, and that's something that we do want to get swinging around. We are going to keep this mace on our other side, but we have this fantastic looking blade with the horse head atop it. A very good prize for William. And that, Legionnaires, is where I shall be leaving you for today's episode. We've begun our journey with William Thatcher, William Ector. Already he is making his mark on the world. Tournament after tournament, he has emerged the victor. With each, we not only grow stronger in skill, but as our coin grows, our armor improves, making us just that much harder to eliminate. He's come a long way from humble beginnings, from that old farm life. Fame, fortune await him. But with any Mount & Blade game, an equal part tragedy can be just around the corner. And so I ask you to join me in the next. If you enjoyed today's episode, consider leaving a like or a comment to let me know if you enjoyed the show. For now, I have been Rycon. You have all been awesome. And until next time, stay tuned.